Today I'm going to show you how to use BandLab Splitter tool to take your audio files and split them into stems for practice and for editing.
You don't have to try so hard. Ponte la fila. Another one for the road. And there's two for the world.
My name is The Frenetic. I'm a musician from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. First, go to bandlab.com, and if you have an account already, just go ahead and log in. And if you don't, what are you waiting for? The Splitter tool is free, and everything I'm going to show you in here is free, so go ahead and sign up. Then you're just going to click on the 4 little dots right here next to the BandLab logo to access all the available features. Make sure you check those out too because they're really useful. But for right now, just go ahead and click on Splitter. If you're on mobile, no problem. After logging into BandLab, just click on the red plus sign on the bottom middle of the screen and then click on Splitter. Now you're just going to import a WAV or MP3 of your song. Give it a couple minutes while it analyzes the track. Boom, here it is. Let's check everything out. On the left here, you have the stems. You can mute or solo any track, as well as adjust the level with the faders here.
Hope that you feel it. You don't have to try so hard. Ponte la fila.
On the right over here, you can adjust the speed, the key, and you can even set a section to loop by pressing the loop button and adjusting the regions.
Feel it. You don't have to try so hard. Ponte la fila. Trae la indica. Another one for the road. Feel it. You don't have to try so hard. Ponte la fila.
And of course, you could download the stems right here. But one of the coolest features is that you could actually open up the stems in a project on BandLab. Just click Open in Studio and give it a few moments to process. When it's done, hit Open. Now you've got the stems in a project with the key and the BPM already set for you. So if you're a music producer, you can already imagine the possibilities here. A cool way to use these stems is to get remix ideas for your track. I kind of like how this track sounds when I raise the pitch and slow it down a little bit like this.
Hope that you feel it. You don't have to try so hard. Ponte la fila. Trae la indica. Another one for the road.
Let's try importing a new track now and see how we could create a new song with it using the stems from the Splitter tool. So I really like how the drums sound in this track, so let's use it as a starting point for a new one. Let's click Open in Studio to get a new project going with these stems.
Mama never told you about all this hurt. Whisk you off to church so you can feel your worth.
So for right now, I'm going to mute everything but the drums. So let's open up a new instrument track so we can get some authentic jazzy chords in here. So this time I'm actually going to use a pad and I'm going to try out this one sound called Movie Pad. Next, let's just add a little bit of reverb to it to give it some space. Let's try out Space Maker. I'm going to put it on the large hall setting and just adjust the settings a bit like this. Okay, sounding pretty nice now. Let's add in the bass to solidify the groove. So I'm going to add a new instrument track and let's select a bass. With tracks like this, I personally like to use 808s. And BandLab has a cool selection of 808s, and I like this one called Chonky Bass. Awesome, so now it sounds like we've got a great backbone for our track. And when making beats, I like to make sure that I have all of my melodic instruments filling up the frequency spectrum. With the bass, we got a nice low going. With the keys, we got a nice mid going. And now I want to add something to fill up the higher frequency range. In order to do this, I could pull up something in a higher register, like a high lead or a bell or something like that, in order to get something going up there. So let's go ahead and add a new instrument track. And I'm going to check out what leads we have available. I like this one. It's called the Eyelash Synth. And before I get recording, I'm going to add some effects to it. So let's add some reverb. And we're going to add some delay. Okay, cool. Let's check it out. Okay, it's sounding nice and full now. And then let's hear what the beat sounds like when I put vocals from the original track back in.
Mama never told you about all this hurt. Whisk you off to church so you can feel your worth. Praying up to God you don't receive the curse. Man, talk about love one time, so feel the burn. You watch your kush turn in a grinder, that's all you know. When this chick told you that you couldn't reap what you sow. Spend mad time getting a no, like me on the flow. About to propose, but she's a no-show sucker. Rock that beat.
That's pretty much how I would use the splitter tool to get a new track from a track that I made a while ago. But another way to use these stems is to learn patterns from existing songs. For example, if you import a song like I did before and solo the drums, you can listen to the drums by themselves without distraction so you can learn what's going on. After listening to the pattern and understanding what hits go where, you can eventually learn the whole pattern. Once you got it down, you can even mute the drums in the track and play the drums along with it live. And of course, you can do this with other instruments in the track as well. So for an example, let's check out how we could do this with bass. So I'm going to import a new track into the splitter tool. Okay, now let's open up this track in a new project. Hit open in Studio. So after soloing the bass, I can easily hear what's going on and use my ear to figure out what notes are being played. For now, I'm going to use a piano sound instead of a bass sound so I can really hear what I'm playing. But if you're a bassist and you have a bass lying around, of course, whip out the bass. Luckily, BandLab already determined the key for me, so I already know what key it's in. In this case, I know that I'll be playing an E-flat minor. Here on BandLab, the keys with the blue dots are the correct notes in that key. So that'll take out most of the guesswork if you don't know your scales. A little shortcut is to open up the keyboard in the Smart Keys mode, so that the keys on the screen will only be the correct keys in the scale. But for now, I'm just going to use the keyboard as is. Now let's have the track play just for a couple bars at a time so I can take it slow, listen to what's going on, and figure it out on the keys, and then move on to the next part. So you get the idea. Continue on until you figure out the bass for the whole track. Now I can play this bass line live along with the track as a performance, or even use this newly acquired pattern in my repertoire to use as inspiration for a bass line in another track. The possibilities are endless with the splitter tool. Check it out and see what you come up with. Check you next time.